Hi, I'm Jessica Stutzman from Millcreek Township.
And I'm Chantel Rodriguez, and welcome to the Millcreek Government Channel.
Today we welcome Amy Conway, President and Executive Director of Erie Women's Empowerment, to discuss their mission to support and uplift women in our community. Amy, we're so glad to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, so I know your story as to why you started Erie Women's Empowerment, but could you let our viewers know as far as what inspired your creation for Erie Women's Empowerment and what's its mission?
Absolutely. So, Erie Women's Empowerment's mission is for collaboration, diversity, career development, and personal growth for local women in hopes of being a vehicle for their economic mobility to really provide more for themselves and for their families. And, I started Erie Women's Empowerment. I grew up with humble beginnings. And, I grew up in poverty and really my family was really hoping for me to take a very simple path, and I kind of wanted a little bit more. So I went out, I explored, I met people, and ended up finding myself into marketing and event planning, which I really enjoyed and made a very good living for myself doing so. That I ended up working my way up through finance and then ultimately able to fulfill this dream of starting a nonprofit and helping other women. I really feel like it's so important to be constantly curious and
Yeah.
continuously growing, but every single leap that I made in my career, I made it faster when I had a mentor there to really help guide me and just tell me, like, hey, you can do this because I did it too. So I created Erie Women's Empowerment with the foundation of it being a mentorship program to help women develop their career skills and also create those meaningful relationships between women.
Can I ask? I have two questions you just made me think of. When did it start? And did any other organization serve as a role model, or was this just something that you thought up in the middle of the night and you were like, this is what has to happen?
So, great questions. We started in May of 2023. So, we are coming up on our second birthday, which seems just insane to me
Yeah.
how quickly that went and how much we've grown just within those 2 years. For the creation of it, I did go through a mentorship program at my previous employer that I thought really helped me to get to my next level. So, some of those elements, and then also pieces that I really wanted to be part of that program, but were not. Pieces that were specific also to Erie, because I think we have a very different community than some larger cities. And the mentorship program that I was a part of was nationally. So I was actually paired up with someone in Texas. Very, very different relationship
Yeah.
than you have here with an actual Erie woman.
Mhm.
So I found a need of it, but I guess I could say I was partially inspired by that.
I love this mission, and as someone, when I was first graduating from college and entering the workforce, I I love learning other women's stories as to how they got to where they are. And sometimes I feel like I take them so literally that I am like, this is the roadmap. This is the
Yeah.
roadmap that I have to follow in order to get to where she's at and my dream job and my dream place in life. And I love absorbing other people's stories. And I've been in my career now for I think pushing 13
Mhm.
years, give or take, at the township, and I love sharing with other people what I've learned along the way. And I think it's such a beautiful two-way street.
I think it's so important to be able to give back like that. And it is inspiring for the next generation to come up. And something that was also inspiring to me is you're talking about listening to women's stories. So when I worked in finance and I was interviewing potential new hires, and I had a woman who was maybe 50 plus, the women who were of that age would come in and immediately say, now, I know my age might set me back, and I'm like, wait a second. First of
Mm-hmm.
all, I can't judge you on that. Even I would be a terrible person if I did. But, I always found it really interesting that those women would come in and almost apologize for coming in to look for a job
Mm-hmm.
when they might be empty nesters who are just getting back into the work field. And, they need that connection with the workforce. So, a lot of people have asked me, well, Erie Women's Empowerment, who are you focusing on? And it's a really hard answer for people to wrap their heads around when I'm like 18 plus women who are just looking to stay in the workforce. They're like, okay, but you mean like, no, 18 plus women who are
Everybody.
still looking to be in the workforce.
Yeah. It's, a topic that a lot of folks bring up as far as like, who are you focusing on? And you're trying to be as broad as you can, like everyone is included, 18 plus. And, a lot of us are going through the same things or have gone through the same things, have tried to go different routes, but we all connect in that way. So it's always nice to see and hear everyone's stories like everyone's talking about, and just seeing that we're all the same and we're all connected in certain ways. It may just look different for someone else.
And I will have to say, I do, as much as literal as I can take somebody's career path and be like, okay, so I need to take this class and then follow this and then, reach out to this person or organization, as literal as I can be in that trench, you have to be flexible. And I have found that like there is no right one way. Like it works different for every single person, and every single person's journey to get to that spot is unique, and everybody's life experience adds to it. And so anyway, I think it's all a learning experience. And if you can offer advice for going in either direction, everybody's got something to share. So what kind of programs and resources do you offer to support women in Erie?
So we are so excited. This year, we are actually launching our first mentorship cohort. So that is a really big win for us. That's going to be launching in May of this year. And we just selected our mentees. So those are going to be announced very soon. And those women are going to be going through career development workshops that range everywhere from resume writing and interview preparation to interpersonal communication skills to even personal branding and dinner party etiquette. So getting the job, thriving in the job, and hopefully promotion within the job. On top of that, we have selected the mentees, and then we will be recruiting the mentors so that they are specifically chosen for that individual mentee and the goals that they are looking to achieve.
That's incredible.
We do have women who are like, I want to be a mentor, and we're like, well, thank you. We'll keep that in mind. So luckily, we do have women who were already interested in being those mentors. Now it's just really kind of figuring out, okay, who's going to be the best person to help them get into the doors that they might be struggling to get into right now.
And I think it's wonderful that you're tailoring that, like from the beginning. So it's not going to be just someone because of their name and why they're in this position, but you're really tailoring it to the women who are looking for these type of resources and really just need that extra support. So it's really fantastic to hear that you're really being specific as to who you're really putting in on your team.
Well, thank you so much for that. I found that to be a really important piece of it. I think that there are a lot of mentorship programs that do almost like a lottery system and say, well, this is a successful person who can be your mentor. But maybe you're already successful. In that case, maybe you're just looking how to communicate a little bit better. Maybe you're just looking for networking. Maybe you're looking to change. For instance, with me, I was in the for-profit sector. I am now moving over into the nonprofit sector. Those are two completely different worlds.
Yeah.
So actually connecting with a mentor for myself, I tell Tracy Daly, who is the founder of Emma's Footprints, that she's my mentor all the time, and we have breakfast together. She's a great energy, and she's a woman I lean on and I am inspired by. So important to have that relationship. I completely agree. And along with the programming, something else that we ended up finding out was a need in our community as we were working on this was that a lot of women entrepreneurs who have very young businesses are really looking for exposure. So a really great thing that we did was create this partnership with the Erie Otters, lean on their 70,000 followers and 5,000 in attendance. And this is our second year that we actually hosted the women's empowerment game with them. And we were able to feature 10 women-owned businesses at that event, and they sold their goods there and had an exposure to a completely different market, and just really great celebration for International Women's Day.
And then, so I'm thinking when you're pairing one woman with another woman, that already in and of itself is a great relationship. But then this person would say, okay, I can't help you with that particular issue or that question or that concern, but I know XYZ who can.
Yeah.
And then they bridge the gap.
Absolutely. The power of connection and ultimately just networking. And especially in Erie, even though Erie is a big small city or a small big city, whichever you would like to call it, a lot of people are connected with each other. But we're also connected nationally. There are a lot of people who became very successful nationally who have an Erie connection. So how can we even make this on a grander scale?
Yeah, and I think even speaking on, the connection side and the relationships that you build with networking, can you share a specific example of how your organization has positively impacted someone in their life or their journey, so to say?
So I would probably we have a volunteer. She actually just volunteered at our Women's Empowerment Night last year. And she was just helping us out. She cared about the mission, was handing out flyers with more information about us. And we were approached by the Erie Seawolves to recognize a volunteer. So we chose her because she went above and beyond. Her personality just shined. Now, as we recognized her as that volunteer, not only did she get recognized there, but we did get her professional headshots. She did mention that she was looking to take the next step in her career. So as she was looking to get that promotion to the next level, she had just recently graduated with her master's degree. We actually set her up and got her a professional headshot by Jessica Hunter, who's just a wonderful, wonderful photographer here. And of course, supporting a woman entrepreneur as well. We care about that a little. So we did that. And luckily with the professional headshot, and also I took a look over her resume, helped her just kind of polish a couple of things, still really good. But as we replaced that, she was actually able to secure that promotion.
That's
So
wonderful.
she did all of the hard work, but we
Yeah.
like to say that we helped polish just a little bit to help her with that. So very happy about that. And additionally, women's organizations, we just did a diaper drive. We actually raised over 4,000 diapers that we gave to SafeNet, Community Shelter Services, to Mercy Center for Women, and also to Erie Dawn, and supporting all of those women and families as well.
And I love when other nonprofits collaborate with one another. It's
Yes.
just it's something so sweet, and in such a small big town like Erie, I think it means so much more to see that collaboration, because a lot of the things that your organization may offer, someone else may need that, and vice versa. So just seeing that collaboration, it's a tight-knit community, everyone is helping one another, and we're more than happy to. So I love seeing that part of the nonprofit side, which is a lot of what I miss, but
Yeah.
you definitely seeing it, and seeing the smiling faces that you get from the women who participate in these programs, and you're really making a difference in their lives.
And you're pulling, so first, the nonprofits are not competing with each other. They're all trying to aid in each other's missions. But then if you collaborate, everybody is pooling all of your resources, all of your fan bases, and you're making 4 times the impact.
Absolutely. And for a smaller organization like ours, obviously we're very new. So we don't have as many resources as some of these larger organizations. But, we have looked to partner with the Mercy Center for Women. They have their Dress for Success program. So I went to speak with them, and we are partnering with them for our personal branding, for empowering our women through their wardrobe. And what's really great is they're going through a bit of an update with some of their programs with Dress for Success. For Dress for Success as well. So we're going to be able to help out with some professional women speakers to help with some of their programming and making those connections for them too. Ends up benefiting both of our missions. And I also think that there is this notion that women's organizations need to compete with each other, not just nonprofits, but just women's organizations. really important for Erie Women's Empowerment that we showed that's just not the case.
Yeah.
We are creating a community where we're all going to support each other, and really important for us to be able to support those organizations who are already doing so much and have been for so many years.
And I think that it's so important for women to collaborate and show support and solidarity and not feel the need to compete with each other.
Yeah.
Like, if she has, if someone has a success, like, I am completely proud and happy for you and I wish you all the best. It's, you can take that competitive or, jealousy component out of it and just lift each other up.
Yeah. I think we are already competing with so much that this just makes it easy for us to collaborate and bounce ideas off of one another. So it really makes it a gem in the community, so to say.
Well, and I want to tag off of that because I was just thinking, had a little thought that I'm competitive with myself. I'm competitive with online images and, okay, what does this mean for, I've got to have like my, the perfect house and the perfect family and my daughter dressed to the nines when she just jumps in a mud puddle and get myself to work on time. Like, I just think and I just want to pick your brain, over the last couple years, have you seen, or maybe what you think are some of the biggest barriers to women succeeding and achieving economic or personal empowerment?
So from what we've seen, just from the women that we have spoken to, I would say probably the number one thing that we hear from women is dealing with imposter syndrome. That they finally do get themselves into the room. They've earned their spot there, but for some reason they have to talk themselves into it that they have earned that spot. And then they are doubting themselves on whether or not they can do that, even though they are already right there doing what they are. So really giving women that confidence boost. And I think that so many women are surprised that women across all industries and all success levels have all gone through imposter syndrome. So letting them know that that's completely normal and that's a step in the journey. Another obstacle that I would say is, gender pay parity for around here. Women do make 70 cents on the dollar for men, but we're doing a little bit better actually in Erie County than some of the country, but there's still a bit of a leap there. So I think that there's a bit of a culture change that needs to shift here in Erie to make sure that women are getting that same opportunity. Not only that, but also when we're considering women who maybe don't have a college degree, but they have years of experience, and getting over the notion of posting that there is a requirement for a degree for positions that don't necessarily need a degree. If somebody has 15, 20, 25 years experience doing that role, but they don't have a college degree, they should have the ample opportunity to interview for that position as well. So hopefully having that conversation with some businesses. There are some very large businesses who already have that worked into their plans, and I applaud them for that. If you have a high school diploma and this many years experience, you can still apply for that same position, and hopefully getting more businesses to feel that way as well.
Yeah, and then we're reaching our closing here, unfortunately, because there's so much that I would love to know more about, and so would Jessie.
Yeah.
But how can someone volunteer to do your workshops or your mentorships? Anything that you have coming up, how can they volunteer for that?
Absolutely. So the best ways to keep up to date with us really are on social media. We are currently on Facebook and on LinkedIn. Very soon we will be launching Instagram. So be on the lookout for that. And then also our website, which is eriewomensempowerment.org. You can feel free to send a message through there or email us at eriewomensempowerment@gmail.com. We have committees that people can volunteer on. If you're interested in being a mentor, you can feel free to send us a message there. But regardless, if you just come and say you want to help, we will definitely find a place that we can put you in our community, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, there's so much information, and I've been following your journey from the beginning, and I was able to join your little party that you did announcing Erie Women's Empowerment and just the volume of women that were supporting one another. I don't think I've ever gone to an event that had that type of feel. So I was very honored to like be invited to that and see your growth from the very beginning and see where it's going. So it's really nice.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for supporting. Thank you again for having me on here. This is really what it's about is, positive and uplifting each other. So thank you again.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. We do want to have you back. We just want to keep continuing to have this conversation. So like Chantel said, thank you so much for being here with us today. And we can't wait to have you back on the show.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Viewers, I really hope we introduced you to a new organization that you may or may not heard of, but it is Women Supporting Women in the Erie community, and it is such a beautiful thing. So I want to encourage you to check out all their new social media platforms and get involved in some of their events, and that way we can strengthen Erie women's empowerment and the community of women that we have here in town. So I want to thank you for tuning in to the Millcreek Government Channel today, and until next time, have a great day.